Welcome to Integrated Health of Indiana's Talk at 10. And today we're going to talk about diarrhea and constipation, two really common maladies in today's society. And we just kind of gloss over it, or we take a stool softener or something of that nature. And it can really, if you let it go and you end up in Jessica's working world, well, what do you see with diarrhea and constipation, and what pains and problems does it cause?
Diarrhea will win you a colonoscopy because they always think that you have cancer or something. Constipation will get you an NG tube for small bowel obstruction, diverticulitis. You may even have bleeding hemorrhoids.
And so how do we determine what is diarrhea and what is constipation? Because if you have a mild case of it, you don't want to let it get bad. And so here are some of the things that we see that you really got to pay attention to. And this is called the Bristol stool chart. Let me blow it up a little more. So the Bristol stool chart, you want to see this. That's the type, they call it the long brown snake. It should be soft. But if you're seeing lumpy, like this, and this, what's happening is you're getting constipated. And just as a rule of thumb, when you eat something, so most of the stuff you can't tell, but you can do a transit time and you can eat some corn. You could take 4 charcoal caps, or you could eat like half a cup of beets. And you want to start to log when you see those first, and then the last time you see them. And all of that should be out of your system between 12 and 24 hours. If it takes longer for you to see that, then you're probably constipated. And if it comes out in hours, then you have diarrhea. What are some of the causes of that stuff? And yeah, you don't want to see this, or this.
That'll get you a C. diff test.
Oh, yeah. And so C. diff is one of the causes.
Which is because people use antibiotics way too much, so they sterilize their gut.
Yeah.
And they let the C. diff lives in your gut normally, but if you sterilize all the good stuff, then the bad stuff takes over. That's C. diff, and that actually can be fatal.
And what ends up happening is if you are on recurrent rounds of antibiotics, the thing that happens to you is your tongue will start to turn white, and you'll get white in the sides of my tongue's white because of my gold infusion in my coffee. But that starts to give you candida overgrowth. And that is a dysbiosis. Once again, you're starting to change things in the gut, which leads to bigger and badder and worse. Good morning, Kathy. Bigger, badder, and worse things.
It's Kathy.
And so we really, really want to stay on top of this and not allow this to get out of hand. Because if you pay attention and you know about what your transit time is, if your stool is looking like anyone like this one, you're good. But if it looks like any of those others, then maybe just getting on top of it with a probiotic will help you out. Or maybe just tweaking the diet and getting rid of the excess sugars.
Most of this is diet related.
Pretty much.
You need to drink lots of water, move, and get your fiber in. But moving, like getting up and walking, is probably the best thing for you. If you don't walk, your guts go to sleep.
Next to when we're in class and they're talking about things that impact health the most, sleep is number one. And then the next thing that is almost always there, and they come in neck and neck, is nutrition and movement. And these two should be thought of the same, because you can't out exercise a crappy diet, and you just can't make things move without movement and a good diet. So causes of diarrhea and constipation are dysbiosis, leaky gut. If your gut has lipopolysaccharides in it, crappy diet, stress, What else can you think? I mean, anything that throws off your bowel. This is a good sign of bowel health. And that's where we start to look at doing things to the body. So let's see. We talked about the transit time.
Oh, here before you do this, that's the first sign of dehydration. There can be dehydration.
Point that out again.
The next one up.
This one?
Yeah.
So this one right here, if you start to see that lumpy stool like that,
water, drink water.
Dehydration. Another thing that this all pertains to is how much fiber are you getting? If you're not getting good fiber into your diet, you can't get rid of estrogens and bad hormones. You can't detoxify them. And that's one of the things that really, for women who have estrogen dominant cancers and things like that, they have to have that fiber to bind with the estrogen to pull it out. And so if you're not getting those things in there, then it's not going to happen. And a lot of people just don't know. We've forgotten how to eat. We want to eat fast foods, convenience foods, and nobody knows how much fiber they're getting or how much fat. And truthfully, we shouldn't have to even know that. We should just be able to eat, but we can't because we've polluted the system. And so we are trying to make these a little bit shorter so that people can digest them in little bits. So we have a gift for you, and that gift is going to be at indianachiropractic.com, and it's going to be there until the 29th. And so if you go to indianachiropractic.com and you watch the video, you will be asked to give your email and name. If you do that, then what happens is you will get a free download to start making your house and home a healthier spot. But that's only going to be there for the next 7 days, because next week we are going to talk about polycystic ovarian syndrome. And this is something huge. We see lots of people with this.
Lots of women.
And so
women.
So signs and symptoms of PCOS: hard periods, absent periods, heavy bleeding,
hair growth,
facial hair where women shouldn't typically get facial hair,
infertility.
Infertility. It's huge with infertility. And so we're going to start to talk about hormones, because hormones and women are key. And 80% of the healthcare consumers are women. So we depend on women to educate the rest of us, because if you're the typical guy, it'll go away until it doesn't. And then we end up with all kinds of probes and other things. So with that being said, we appreciate you taking time to be with us. Go to indianachiropractic.com. Watch the video, get the download, start to make your house a safe haven. Make your house safe for you to go into, and you know you can eat whatever's in there and it's not going to harm your body or your family.
Remember, drink your water, eat your fiber, and get moving.
Thank you.
Yeah.